What's going on, guys? So we're going to talk about how to spot a bad cold email client from a mile away. The reason why I wanted to put this out on my channel is because I've been doing interviews um, with a lot of agency owners, younger agency owners or agency owners who are in earlier stages than I'm in right now, and this stuff had come up quite a bit. So I'm going to talk about this in this video, and I have another video that I want to put out, and then we're going to start focusing on some more technical stuff, more cold email stuff. So I'm going to break down how to spot a bad client so that you can focus your time on clients you can actually get results for, allowing you to get more case studies, get more clients, charge more, make more money, and accelerate to at least that $50,000 a month mark. And from there, the sky's the limit. So this is important because you will realize in the first few months of running your agency seriously that getting clients is actually rather easy, but getting them results is the hard part. You know, with just my free stuff, you can get as many clients as you want. It's the fulfillment that is where a lot of folks, especially who are on the newer side, that's where they run into trouble getting their clients results, especially with generating leads, generating deal flow, using cold email as a vehicle. So I found out a process that has allowed me to consistently get my clients results, allowing me to scale very quickly. It's part of the reason why, we're here now, but a lot of this is just knowing what clients to take on in the first place, right? So the reality and the truth about running an agency is that you're not always going to be able to get clients results. And if you can spot the clients you can't get results for, whether it's because of yourself as a skill issue or the client who doesn't really have things in place, then you're going to save both parties a lot of time, headache, and money and hassle and reputation. So before we begin, if you're new here, my name is Pablo. I'm an agency owner, and I run a B2B marketing, AI marketing agency to be specific. We do quite a bit in terms of deal flow for our clients with AI and cold email. I'm making this video because my goal is to help you make more money, because when you make more money, you'll trust me more. You might become a client of mine one day and make even more money in that way, and then we'll all be richer. So I built a couple of different businesses to pretty sizable numbers, and now I'm building my marketing agency Scale in real time in front of you all, which I've been documenting since day one. You can look me up. You can look at my LinkedIn, my Twitter, go back to my YouTube channel, sort by oldest. It's pretty much all there. It's Friday, September 12th at the time of recording this, by the way, and I have 900 and this is old now. This was this morning, but as of right now, I have 945 subscribers. So we're gonna update that. Less than 2 weeks ago, I had about 45 subscribers. The only reason I'm even mentioning this is because a lot of this stuff is new to me. People asking for mentorship and stuff like that, meaning this was not in my plans. I was just documenting every day, doing internal case studies, client case studies, stuff like that. So less than 2 weeks ago, I had about 45 subscribers. We're now at about 945. So we gained 900. This is all new to me, but nonetheless, I appreciate you guys. If you're new here, I put out no BS content. I would recommend you download this document for free once you're done watching this and go through it just to make sure you're applying this. I make no income claims. My results are not typical. And you can download this document and scroll through the social proof yourself, but it's all there, okay? So let's talk about how to spot a bad client for your agency from a mile away. So it all starts with you, and it all starts with targeting more specifically. So I found this out very late. I was wondering why I kept on attracting clients who couldn't afford my services. And this is the most important thing in this document. And also see below for a full guide. You can find this video on my channel. It's also embedded within this document. So when you're targeting, I got to update the cold email money printer. At the time I was targeting 3 to 10 employees, but that's when I was still racking up case studies and stuff like that. And but really I could have accelerated my progress if I started targeting companies with 7+ employees. It really should be 10, because but you can get away with 7. So why does this matter? So there are common themes between companies with over 7 employees and less than 7 employees. This is a generalization. There are exceptions to the rule, especially in 2025 when you can have a startup, a 5-person startup doing tens of millions of dollars in annual recurring revenue. So this is very much a generalization, but more often than not, the themes tend to prove true. So first thing you need to know is anyone with their own business on LinkedIn like that information gets scraped and added to Apollo's database. So I think I have one of my old media companies, which was a side gig because I used to do some photography in Toronto as a side hobby. Um, I don't know. I haven't fact checked this, but like that's the kind of stuff that Apollo would scrape. So point being, a lot of these folks on in Apollo don't have clients when you're targeting people with like 1 to 10 employees or like sub 7 employees. A lot of them don't have clients. You know, they don't actually run a business, right? Business owners, especially if you're new to B2B, if you're new to B2B, business owners are regular people who just happen to work for themselves, right? Uh, a lot of the times, I would argue that most entrepreneurs don't actually run a business. They just kind of do something for fun. It's very few entrepreneurs who are actually running a business and making money. It's the minority. Now, most of them aren't really closing deals. And if that's you, then we're going to change that quite quickly. Just stick around on this channel. But I'm saying like a lot of people put the fact that they run a business on the LinkedIn just to say that they run a business. And you're going to run into these people a lot. Or you're going to run into some really messy operations, right? And that's an important question to ask. You know, how many deals they're closing and stuff like that. And we'll talk about critical questions to ask in sales calls in another video. I've actually made a video about this, but I should redo it because I can make it better now. But asking things in the sales calls like current MRR, you know, how many deals are they closing per month right now? And how many deals have they closed this year? How many leads are being generated this month? Not just for the raw number, but to see if they actually know it and if they track their numbers. Like asking those questions are crucial. You know, again, a lot of folks are new to B2B, coming from B2C. Business owners are just people. And people lie or people don't know their numbers. So we'll need to ask the same question 2 or 3 different ways to make sure nothing slips past us. This is not so that we're trying to, you know, be any better than them, but it's just we need to have an understanding of if we can or cannot help this person because we owe them our honesty, right? So case in point, I got pitched a performance-based offer where, so we were in negotiations and I was still doing 100% performance based at the time. This was $300 per call. So I put the proposal together and I pitched it over, and then the business owner came back and said, "Hey, I'd actually like to propose a different model." So I told him I'm all ears. He said that he would pay me $500 for every deal, every contract that he undertakes, and then $1,500 when he closes the deal. I won't disclose the niche or the client. But almost like I would be taking on more risk, and the thing was because he had been burnt before, which I understand, right? So, but it you know, it's initially I was enticed by this because like, you know, it sounds like a lot more than $300 per call. It was also enticing because I didn't have to do the appointment setting piece. It was just a lead handoff, right? So I get them leads or deal flow, and they, if they decide to engage with that deal, then they pay me $500 per deal, and if they close on the deal, they give me $1,500. So it sounded exciting. The good thing is I started asking questions, right? So I asked, you know, how many leads were they getting from their current agency that they were working with? They said 15 in the last month. I asked how many deals that they decided to engage with and take on. They said 5. And how many did they actually close? They said it was about 1. Meaning that he was rejecting 67% of the deals that his current partners were bringing him. And you know, he blamed it on the fact that the ICP was wrong and there was miscommunication. But, you know, let's be real. Like, it takes less than an hour to spin up a new campaign and start new outreach. So the real situation I had found out simply because I had asked these questions was that he was incredibly difficult to please and work with, and borderline abusive. And wanted to take advantage of me because, you know, he was used to working with like these 16, 17-year-old lead gen kids, no offense if you're a younger entrepreneur, who didn't know their worth. And so long story short, that situation didn't work out. No bridges burnt. There was just misalignment in how we all wanted to be compensated. So that will happen. But I say all this to say, if you don't ask the right questions, if you don't do the math, these folks will intentionally or unintentionally take advantage of you, or you will just put yourself in a very vulnerable position to be taken advantage of. And business owners are just regular people like you and I. So we'll talk about sales calls another day. But if you don't want broke clients or clients who can't afford your services, if you don't want messy clients, you want clients who show up on time and do what needs to be done, then you got to make sure that you target the right folks. Because after you target and reach out, it's on you. So the biggest indicator is employee headcount nowadays. Why? Because to support a big headcount, they have to be making some kind of money. So the thing with lead generation, deal generation, call it whatever you want, is you have to understand that you're not in this business to save people, to save businesses. You're in this business to scale businesses, right? You can't scale a business that doesn't have product market fit, that doesn't have a sales process ironed out, that isn't making any money. Now, granted, if you're really good at what you do, you can do that. Like, I get everyone has to start somewhere, and I did it. I've completely turned several businesses around, but it's not ideal. Like, if what you're after is case studies and testimonials, you're making your life really, really difficult. And if they hadn't made any sales or closed any deals lately, that's a big red flag. You should keep your distance. Next thing is you should be rejecting most clients that come your way. So a big trap for folks, for agency owners in their first 6 months of running their agency, this is more so for the newer folks, not for the vets, is that they take on any and every client that responds to their emails because they're desperate for clients. And I would say don't do that. Be patient. Rejecting clients will also make you way better at sales. Why? Because you're willing to walk away, and this gives you more leverage. It just allows you to be a better salesperson. Second is it allows you to genuinely guide the prospect in the right direction instead of just trying to close them, making the prospect 100 times more open to working with you because you're honest. My sales calls got way better. My closing rate got way better ever since I stopped trying to close people. Like, I don't do the whole sales thing. If you've been on a call with me, I'll either literally up front say I'm not trying to close you, or if this is a sales call, I'll say, hey, well, I just want to understand your situation. If I can or can't help, we'll go through the math together. If it makes sense, then I'll make you an offer. If it doesn't, we'll both know in real time. So look, I'm very just open and honest with this because my business lives and dies by my ability to get people results. I don't want to waste anyone's time. So, and then number 3, you should only be taking on clients that you are at least 80% sure that you can get results for. And what I mean by 80% is when you're at 80% confidence, that means you're not hesitating, you're not stuttering, you don't have to think about it. 100% confident means you can do it in your sleep. Literally. Like, I'm running on very little sleep right now, and I can do a lot of stuff. So those are the things that I'm 100% confident about. 90% is like you can do it. 90% is you can do it. 100% is you can do it in your sleep. 90% is you can do it. There might be some bumps in the road, but it'll get done. 80% is like you're confident in your ability to figure it out. Until you're at 80% not hesitating, just work for free. Just work for free. Until you're confident in your ability to figure it out, work for free. It sucks, but this is how you fast track. Part of my I can't speak today. See, I need sleep, guys. Part of how I was able to accelerate so quickly is because of the free work I did. I did a lot of free work, guys. A lot of free work. Next thing is avoid rev share clients like the plague. So any client who takes it upon themselves to pitch you a rev share before you ask for it is not a client you want to be working with. So someone who's like, unless it's like a full-on growth partner thing where I get to control, like if I get to take control of scripting your VSL, helping you make your landing page, doing the sales copy on your landing page, I get access to your funnel analytics, so on and so forth. Like, I get to build whatever it is. If you give me that much control, then sure, yeah, let's do a rev share. I mean, I'd want a rev share anyway because I'm doing that much more work. But if I'm only getting you deals and leads, then let's be real. Like, I don't want a rev share unless I'm working with like a literal superstar like Gary Vee or something. You know, if they are pitching you a rev share without you asking, if it's the folks in the email who say, I don't work with anyone who I have to pay unless I close. It's a very, very like pretentious thing to say. Those people, it signals a real insecurity in their ability to close. It just does. There's no way to skate around it. Stay away from them. Now, if I was just starting out, I would at least consider folks who say we don't pay up front, but they pay you like upon performance. That's fine, as long as they pay you for your work, right? I was doing that for a while. I was literally 100% performance based, no setup fee, no nothing. And yeah, I would take the hit. I would take the hit a lot. There are a lot of clients who I ended up in the red for. But again, it gave me at least an opportunity to make money, but also to iron out a process that worked. So I'm not against that. If it's like for your first 1 to 3 clients, maybe I would stop at like 1 or 2 and at least start charging a setup fee after that. And we can talk about that in another video if you guys want. But the people who are, it's like, we give you a rev share and stuff like that, I guarantee you, I'll bet you a lot of money, it's not going to work out the way you want. Next, check their website and the social presence. You know what a good website looks like. Now, I'm a terrible example of this because my website doesn't look great, but also like I don't know. I'm just kind of I'm an exception. Okay, like I'm a good like it's purposely bare bones is what I'm trying to say. But also like you can use your own judgment, right? My website's very bare bones, but I have a grand slam VSL that works, you know. So use your judgment. You know what a trash website looks like, right? It would be insanely easy for any marketer, any growth partner, whatever they call them nowadays, to get results for me. Like I'd be a great client for those kind of people. Why? Because if you look me up, there's something there. You know, if the website's trash, like my website isn't pretty. I have less than 1,000 subscribers as of today, Friday, September 12th, 2025. But the social proof is there, and there's more of it every day. So that you want clients like that, just in general. I'm not talking about RevShare anymore. I'm talking about in general. So use your own judgment. All right. So that's really it. I won't make this video any longer than it needs to be. I'm working on a mentorship offer. Sign up to my newsletter. I'm ironing it out. But everything is there right now. I'm just doing interviews with folks who might be a great fit, getting their thoughts on how to make it perfect. But anyway, sign up to my newsletter. It's free. The link is in the description. If you download this document, it'll put you onto my newsletter as well. Other than that, see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.